Good evening, everyone. I'm with Dr. Tuula Pere, children book author in Finland. We are going to talk about children education in Finland. Hello, Tuula. Thank you
Hello.
for joining us.
One of my favorite subjects, this education thing. I am a great fan of education. And I think it's a very important thing for every child in any country.
Okay, that's very good. As also Finland known as the one of the best country in elementary education. So I think this is interesting. So how elementary education's priority, in Finland in educating children? Is it raising based on individual or groups, or what do you think?
I think Finland is a very special country in that way that people are feeling themselves very equal. Although of course there are differences in wealth and education, but if we compare to some other countries, so I think the feeling of Finnish people is very equal towards each other. So they have this trust of being as important as anybody else. And there is also a strong feeling of being we. So we are doing together, and people are.
Then
yes, I think they
so
are willing to cooperate.
Right.
Yes,
That's
and in this education, both things are very important to my mind. You have to grow people as cooperative as possible, so they can listen to the others, they can work together. School has an important role in that. But there is always this other thing. We are individuals. We have different skills, have different interests, and the school has to balance between this. There is the group which has to be educated with certain basic knowledge, but there are like 20, 30 students in the classroom, and everybody is an individual.
Right. And how about the focus, in elementary educations? Is it focusing on intelligence, wisdom, or practical skills?
Maybe I am optimistic.
Right.
Or idealist when I say that in the Finnish schools, I have a feeling that all these aspects are quite well balanced.
Right.
Of course, if you ask somebody who would like more, like who loves sports or music, they would say, I am taught too much mathematics, I don't like that. Somebody likes reading and would like to read a lot, but then the focus is in something else. So of course these individuals feel it in a different way. But I see there is a nice balance. The plans for the education, they focus both on these intellectual skills. There is a certain level they try to make everybody reach. But then there is this fun part also, this doing practical things, doing hobbies, having like culture involved in the education. So this makes it a balance. And I think Finnish students are probably not so under such a high pressure for achieving individual marks, points. It's a way of life of being at school, being with your friend, doing many kinds of things.
Right. And how do you put, the concept of the trust, honesty, discipline, in elementary educations? Is it priority, as one of the wisdom of the educations?
I think in general, I could say that all these like moral aspects, they are linked to being at school. Of course, there are certain subjects when you discuss more about these things,
Right.
those subjects which have, if somebody is belongs to a religion, there are also education on religions, but general like morals and society matters are also involved in these education, these subjects, and the amount of these and the difficulty of these questions, it of course rises according to when you pass the class, you go to the second one, you are capable of learning more, thinking more problematic issues, having more discussion. But I think it's always linked in the school system, this kind
Right.
of moral education.
And I think in many country, every country happen, on social differences, and how the elementary education in Finland affect, social differences.
This is a very interesting thing which would need some history, but
Right.
it would take too long. But for example, when I was a child in 1960s and I
Right.
went to school, the school system was very different from today.
Right.
Certain things made it difficult for more poor children to go to the higher education, but then the systems developed and the state started supporting every child to give the opportunity for everybody to have the same education if you have the skills. So it's easier these days because it's we are like very equal students in theory, but of course families are different and not all the families have all the possibilities. And even if the school is free, you get the free lunches, you have the health care. There are a lot of hobbies which are also free for everybody. But still, of course, if you have a well-off family, you have more possibilities in life. And one interesting thing these days is a discussion which is going on in Finland, and it concerns that the fact that there are certain areas, of course, like in any country, where you have nice houses, you have rich people, and there are other kinds of surroundings where people are not doing so well. And these areas have schools. Schools are located normally close to the pupil. So of course the schools are in different kinds of areas. And it affects to what kind of school it becomes because the families who are like behind the school, they are different. And it affects the possibilities of these children. And now we are discussing a lot, is it allowed? Is it, do we support people to take their children to different schools, to different areas? Should we mix it? Like with orders, people have to mix more.
Area,
And of course, you know that every parent is trying to think what is best for my children. It goes in the same way. Somebody from a poor family is probably thinking, why can't I put my child in a top area school where the education would be probably a bit more classy? I don't know if the difference is so, but of course the atmosphere at the school is different. On the other hand, somebody who can afford all the best for the children is not happy if they think that my child is put to a school which is, to his mind, a lower standard school. I would say all schools are very high-level schools. This mixing families, mixing children, it makes people to understand each other better. That's one thing we have to keep in mind.
Okay, and probably this is the last questions. on the importance of creativity and play, in
Oh.
elementary education in Finland.
Oh. I think this is very good in Finland because first of all, our school day is different probably compared to many other countries.
Right.
Children are stuck in one classroom or one school building. After every 45 minutes, they have a break. They go out. Even if it's winter and there is snow, they go out. The small ones, they do a lot of activities. They play in the snow. They can do whatever during the break. So they get a lot of energy. And of course, you have maybe wet clothes with snow and ice when you come to the classroom. Never mind, you put your socks on the radiator and then you continue the lesson.
Okay.
So that's very particular in Finland. And I think also play is involved and creative elements are involved in every kind of learning. Even if you learn mathematics, you are using like your imagination, some examples, colors. The smaller you are, then there is creativity involved. This is something I like a lot. Because it makes the children free and it makes them more motivated to learn also. It's like not compulsory. You have to do it. You have to sit silently in your desk. But there is like more involvement.
Okay. Yeah, involvement is important. Right.
It is, I think so.
Okay, Tuula, thank you very much for the conversations. I think we gain some information, on how elementary education in Finland is being conducted. So this is interesting because if we see to the survey, Finland has some top on the list, on elementary educations, and also the happiest country, one of the happiest country in the world. So I think world should learn also from Finland. So thank you again.
Yes, the nature connection is important.
Right.
I say that as the last thing. To be connected to the nature outside, I think that's very
connected to the nature. Right. That's why
right.
I love, your background with trees and
snow and trees.
Yeah, it's winter time, right?
Yes, it is. A lot of snow and still quite cold.
Okay, so have the winter time. I know you are looking for spring afterward.
I am.
So we'll see you then, Tuula. Yeah.
See you then.
See you
Happy
again.
to talk to you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye. Thank you.